guys, and welcome back to 5-9 Gaming. The International Tournament of Power is now officially over, and Team JP has emerged victorious, which who would have thought? We have both team captains here in the booth, and to give us their final thoughts on the tournament, so say hello to Mr. Mas Ningen. How are you doing, man?
Yo, how's it going, everybody? Excited to be here.
Yeah.
Put a little more energy into that hello there, you know?
Yeah, what was up with that? What was the excitement? Huh?
I mean, you saw how my team did. I can only get so excited.
Yeah, I did watch. And Mr. Talon, what's going on, man?
Team JP, Team JP, Team JP.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And as well as our captains, we also have a very special guest. We asked you all out there to vote on who you thought was the MVP of the tournament from the original 8 members, and here is your winner, Sunblade. What's going on, man?
Hello, guys. Yeah, thank you for voting, and yeah, it's an honor to be on the video.
Yeah, it's definitely cool to have you here, man. You have been crushing everybody, so. So, Sunblade was voted again as our big MVP of 5-9. So, Sunblade, what do you have to say to all the people out there? You have a victory speech? You have any, thank yous to any special people like in your team that pushed you onward or kind of helped you out?
All right, so first off, I entered the Dokkan community pretty much like mid-2020, and now I'm on a video like this, voted as the MVP. That is crazy to me, and I really appreciate the support. It's amazing. So thank you very much, and don't downplay Team JP ever again. Like, I'll get you.
Yeah. I think you definitely showed that, man. And Talon, are you happy with the decision of your crew member being chosen as MVP?
Oh, absolutely. I am. Absolutely. I mean, this guy went far and above and beyond everyone else when it came to this thing. I mean, this guy would be DMing me and being like, all right, here's the team. Here's your category. What kind of team are you looking at? Here's what I'm looking at. What do you think about this time and everything? I mean, I remember he messaged me one time at like 12:30 a.m. my time. I'm like, who the hell is messaging me this early? But you know what? It paid off in the end, and I appreciate that he did it. Just don't do it any later than that. That's all I'm going to ask. So.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I actually remember. I remember being in VCs with Sunblade and Nolar, and like someone was like, "Okay, Nolar, no, do this, do that." This man was teaching you guys. All right, so basically we have, again, this was the final round of the tournament. We saw the first ever Dokkan relay race on YouTube, another big landmark for the Tournament of Power. And it's pretty cool, man, and something people seem to have really enjoyed. So, what are some of your thoughts on the execution and the results regarding, the relay race? We could start off with Mas Ningen.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool to see like a lot of people in the comment section really liked the format. It obviously took quite a bit of work to put together, but it was pretty fun. Like the process of actually recording it, like doing the team deliberation as part 1, and then obviously all coming together at the end to like discuss the results and reveal like the final winner and how each of those like pairings panned out. A lot of work went into making it happen, but shout out to obviously the editors as well. I think overall it came out really well, and it was a lot of fun to do. So obviously something that we will think about in the future. And then in terms of the results, I mean, what can I say? I mean, the results of the relay kind of mirrored the results of the rest of the tournament. So some of them were pretty close. But yeah, the truth and tune shenanigans at the end as well, pretty funny. But yeah, I think overall I'm pretty happy with how it went, despite the fact that we didn't quite win, but we didn't get completely destroyed.
Can I just say that I absolutely loved how when Truth was doing his race, and he did a very good job, by the way. He did a very good job. I love how Goresh was just like a backseat driver the entire time.
yeah, it's just telling us exactly.
No,
what
don't
to
do that.
Goresh
Okay, look, you're already doing this. I was like,
definitely
oh my gosh.
Yeah, and Sunblade, as our MVP, how did you feel about the relay race? Were you happy with it? Is it something that you would like to do again in the future?
So, as far as I recall, it's the first ever relay race. So I think this was a pretty good idea. I really liked it, and I hope to see it again in the future. Yeah. for the first ever relay race, it was pretty well executed. So yeah, I would like to see it again.
Yeah, I hope so too. Honestly, I had a lot of fun actually watching it. It definitely was a fun time, and all the viewers seem to enjoy it too. So to our viewers, definitely let us know if you guys would like something like that again, and the guys could set that up for you. So going down to Tally just mentioned Truth and Tune, and they were added into the mix. So and it was very spicy having those two come on. So we'll talk. We'll go over it with the team captain. So Talon, how did you feel? How that impacted the end results? Do you think they actually added a lot more to the teams, or?
I will definitely say it made more entertaining. Definitely made it more entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Tune and Truth have an awesome little banter, off the camera, on camera, all that stuff. So that definitely brought, I think, a lot more energy to it and a lot just more flair in terms of that to the video and to the whole relay race itself. In terms of the results, I mean, sorry, Tune. Truth's got a pretty whaled account, so yeah, that's a pretty tall order to get right there. And I mean, yeah. So, but I think overall it was very fun to bring them in, and it was very just it was a good time.
It was a good time. And Mr. Matt,
in terms of, I think it was one of those things where it made things a lot more fun. Definitely made things a bit more interesting. But like at that point in the tournament, considering how well we'd performed so far, I guess we didn't really need to worry about it. But in terms of balance, I don't think it was. It wasn't necessarily the two didn't exactly match up. But then you got to remember that we were replacing them. Truth obviously took the spot of Jinro on JP, and Toon took the spot for Gale. And obviously Gale, bit more free to play. Like obviously his account, I guess, maybe stacked up to Jinro. Probably, maybe not the same kind of difference that there is between Truth and Toon, but obviously it was kind of an underdog matchup for us anyway.
Yeah, that was a bit rough.
But one thing I will say, so I saw people in the comment section, a load of people were like questioning some of Toon's team picks, and I even saw comments being like, I can't believe the other members of Team Global didn't fight him on his team choice. And trust me, we tried, but Toon was very convinced that because that exact team that he'd built was one that he'd been beaten in a race by Goresh he was adamant that that was the team he was going to use. And even though we suggested maybe changing 1 or 2 units, he didn't want to because he'd link leveled all of those. I think
ones. He had a good overall team. Like he had a good category and everything. Just I would have personally, after watching it back when it finally came out on YouTube, because clearly any JP members weren't there when it was actually happening. I was just like, maybe I would have changed 1 or 2 units. But again, it's easy to critique that and everything. It's easy to say like, oh, I would have done this and everything. It's just like, well, sometimes in the moment, So, but I mean, overall, his team was good. It was a good team to pick, bringing, SCR cooler lead and all that stuff. That's the way to go. I mean, that's what Truth did. So.
Yeah, the cooler team's definitely the best pick for the extreme stage, I think. But I would have left Angel Melt cooler and probably Angel Golden Freezer at home. But
yeah, and
but hey, it was fun. So,
and Mr. Sunblade, do you think JP needed Truth to join to intervene?
Okay, so I will say this: we didn't need him because Jinro has actual speedrunning experience on the extreme stage. He has published speedrunning videos for that stage, so he was prepared. So when Truth kicked out Jinro, I was kind of bummed. I was saying, okay. He has that experience, and maybe Truth actually nerfed our team, but that wasn't the case. He really performed very, very well. But yeah, I would say it was an even trade for us, for the JP side. I'm very convinced in that.
Yeah, because that's the thing. People might be surprised at you saying that, but like before you get outraged in the comments, the thing is, obviously we know that Truth has like the Omega Whale level box, but he doesn't really race people anymore. We didn't necessarily know, like, if he had the race strats down, because I'd never raced Jinro before until we had our pairing in the tournament, and I wasn't sure what to expect. I didn't want to underestimate him, but he was very, very much a challenge when we had our match, so I can see why you would say that.
So if you look up his videos, you can find one extreme class speedrunning video, and when I saw that, I was like, okay, he has to pick the stage It is probably the stage he has the most experience in, and then Truth came in and destroyed my whole plan, but it worked out in the end, so quite happy.
Yeah, and like you said, a lot of people don't really know this, but Jinro's been in the YouTube scene and Dokkan for a very long time. Yep. He has a lot of knowledge, a lot of history playing the game. He's been here almost since like day one almost. So he's been around for a while. So it definitely feels like it was more like an even pick. I agree with you, son. So moving on to basically our next topic, the tournament did have a lot of ups and downs, and there was a lot of rules changes and surprises. Were you guys cool with all the, the real changes? I know, like, going from like round 1 to round 2, there was a few of them, and we could start off with Masked Ningen.
So yeah, it's one of those things. Obviously, like for those of you who don't know, like obviously because I'm one of the Dokkan content leads for 5-9, like the International Tournament of Power was my first big idea that I pitched to Nolar and the Supercore guys to do as one of our first Dokkan projects. So it's the first time I'd ever done something like this or organized something like this. So obviously Sunblade was really helpful and gave a lot of feedback along the way because he's had some involvement in tournament type stuff before. But yeah, there was a lot of things that we ran into that we maybe hadn't expected. Not just in terms of, I think the way the results went was something we never expected, because we talked about sorts of like, what could we do in later rounds if it's too evenly matched? And so obviously we then had to kind of create new things on the fly, like the whole thing with the round 3 bonuses for the members of Team Global. Because obviously we just didn't expect like the results to go quite as one-sidedly. Maybe some people did, but obviously we didn't think it was going to be quite that one-sided against us. But yeah, it was one of those things we kind of had to react on a week-to-week basis, and very much there was a lot of work done behind the scenes to like change things and get things working efficiently as quickly as possible. So I think considering all the work that had to go into it, I'm very happy with how it turned out in the end. And obviously the feedback from all you guys out there has been mostly very positive. So I think overall I would say I'm pretty happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, and Talon, how did you feel about everything?
Overall, it was definitely something new and interesting. I enjoyed it. I'd say, unfortunately, the one downside, and I think we knew this going in, but it still happens nonetheless, was just the time differences, unfortunately, with everyone, trying to get people from Europe to the US to me in Japan, just everywhere. And so that I knew going in was going to be probably the biggest challenge for us to hit, and it was challenging. It was challenging. Like I did see some comments about like, why can't you just release this like every day or even sooner? I was just like, guys, that's not very possible with time differences and everything. I'm like, we can't do that. So but overall I'd say it was I'm impressed. I am definitely impressed with the quality that came out.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it was a lot of fun watching all of it. Son, so are you pretty much happy with how everything went down yourself?
So yeah, first off, I'm a sucker for tournaments. I'm a very competitive guy, so when
competitive, yeah.
We noticed.
When Ningen introduced the idea to 5-9 Gaming, I was like, yeah, very cool. Dokkan is a game that I really enjoy, and we are making a tournament out of this. Okay, I'm in, and it's a speedrunning thing. Okay, I'm all on board. And when all of the guys were trashing Team JP, I was like, yeah, okay, now I'm really invested into this. And yeah, I'm very happy how this turned out. Of course, we didn't know that the results were this one-sided. But yeah, this tournament really helped us to kind of prepare us for the next possible season. So it was pretty good. Thank you for this idea, Ningen. I loved it.
Yeah, and the big thing is we can learn a lot going forward from this. Obviously, we want you guys to let us know like your ideas. I've seen a lot of suggestions in the comments of the other videos already, and one of the big things was always going to be that this was kind of like a preliminary, like a season 1 essentially. And one big thing that I don't think we ever addressed in any of the videos is a lot of people, especially early on, like question some of the team like members and the original setup, because like I say, this idea originally came around pretty much when 5-9 Gaming first became a thing. So before then, it was essentially we were in that era where it was the last couple of episodes of the Ultimate Tag Team podcast. So the original, when you look at the two teams, it's basically like the main JP and global players who were on the podcast. And that was kind of just the basis of how to make those teams. But going forward for a season 2, who knows? Because we've seen ideas of maybe doing drafts and not making it global versus JP, introducing other new people, multiple different teams, doubles, who knows? So let us know what you guys think, because there's a lot of potential for things that we could change for the next season. So we can take everything we've learned and go from there. So should be good.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. Again, I think this tournament went really, really well. And then again, to our MVP Sunblade, I have one last question for you. So you, again, just came out of nowhere. You destroyed everybody. Have you been preparing for something like this for a while, or did you just kind of awaken when you saw everybody talking smack about JP? Because my man, you were a shark. You were crazy this entire tournament, man.
Okay, so Ningen has said this multiple times. He didn't have me on his radar. And as you guys know, I'm a Resident Evil 4 speedrunner. I held world records. I was also in games that quick. So I have already that kind of mindset, how to approach time attack stuff, races, how to get from A to B in the quickest way. And another thing that plays into this is my whole competitive nature, the whole tournament thing. And I said that as well. Like when we upload the poll, who's gonna win, Team Global or Team JP? I think 95% voted Global, and I was kind of bummed out. So I was like, okay, I'm a new YouTuber, so I have to prove myself anyway, and I want to prove all these guys wrong. Like when I saw the team, I was like, yeah, Team JP is gonna win. We have the better team, but we have to prove it. And that's when I sat down. Like I played like 30 minutes maybe, and try to memorize every turn that I have to play. And thanks to my whole speedrunning experience, I was able to do this very quickly. So I didn't sit down for like 10 hours and play through a battle road. So yeah, that speedrunning thing is definitely a factor here.
Very cool. And is there anybody on your radar that you want to call out for?
So big shout out to Goresh. I would say that really I say this from the bottom of my heart. I think that he is the best Dokkan racer in the world, and I would like to race him one more time without any JP first units. Maybe when my box is in the regard of the team, like evenly matched with his, but because I cannot win against him, like if he has like level 10 links and Rainbow team across the board. But when the playing field is like even, I would like to challenge him one more time. And I have huge respect for the guy. I don't want to call him out. I'm not a guy like that, but
that's cool, man.
Well, yeah, I mean
Very,
that's
very
the thing.
wholesome.
You guys had your match before we instituted the no JP only units rule. So yeah, I would love to see a rematch between you guys. That'd be great.
In Kid Buu was definitely a factor, but on the other side he had Rainbow units, so it's very hard to make it fair for everybody.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah.
And then, to our viewers, if you guys want that race, put it in the comments. Make Sun do this. Goresh, you got to do it, man. I want to watch this. So, unfortunately, guys, that is the end of the first season of the International Tournament of Power. We're coming to a close now, but I'm sure we can expect more exciting things from our Dokkan creators in the future. So make sure you all stay tuned for our future action. We appreciate all the support from every single one of you. Thank you guys so much. Again, without you guys, we wouldn't be here, bottom line. And we all appreciate you guys so much. So, kudos to all of you, and we appreciate it. And if there's anything else that you guys want from the Dokkan side, like if there's any video ideas that you guys have, let us know. We're always reading the comments and all that. So, Mr. Talon, Sunblade, and Mass Sneaking, thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody, and peace out.